So women were told to listen to their god, so they would wear earring, because Saturn is the lord of the ring. And men were to get married before their god, so they wear a wedding ring. You need to understand there is a world of occultism, manipulation, exploitation of the human race with words and terms and symbols that you don't even know is happening right in front of you. So you've got a court. The whole idea in a court is a game to put the ball back in the other guy's court. And the judge is going to rule from the bench. The word bench is a Latin word for a bank. So he's ruling for the bank. Why? Because somebody's going to have to pay their debt to society. Somebody's going to pay. When the day is over, somebody's going to lose and they're going to pay. And the judge doesn't care because he's getting paid anyway, so he doesn't care. He's a referee. That's why he wears a black robe. And when the judge walks out, everyone rises. Why? The same reason when a Catholic priest walks out, everyone rises, because the Catholic Church operates under the same maritime admiralty law as a court in America. That's why in Catholic churches you always see 3 steps going to the altar. Those are the first 3 steps of the first degrees of Freemasonry, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd degree. Once you're on the 3rd, you get the 3rd degree. Now you're going before the judge. It's the 3 degrees of Masonry. So then now you bring in the occult world of Freemasonry, all the secret societies of the Knights Templars, the world bankers, the religious orders. All of this stuff is connected thousands of years ago that you don't know anything about. And once you start seeing how in court the judge rules from the bench, which a bench is a Latin word for a bank. And where do you find banks if they're on both sides of a river? They're called river banks. What does a river bank do if it doesn't direct the flow of the currency? Because your money is called currency. Because it's the cash flow, the liquid assets, the juice. And either you got it or you don't. Money goes through your hands like water. No, money is water. Maritime admiralty. Money, there are only 2 things on the earth. There's only 2 things on this globe. There's land and water. So we have 2 kinds of law. The ancient Romans set this up and they said we only have 2 kinds of law. The law of the land and the law of water. The law of the land is the custom of the people who live on a particular piece of land. That's always different. So the law of the land is different everywhere. You can do things in Russia you can't do here, because the law of the land is different here. You can do things in South America you can't do in China, because the law of the land is different. The people live on the land. So the law of the land is the law of the culture that lives on that piece of land. But the law of water, no, water is the same everywhere. The law of water is the law of money. It's called maritime admiralty, the law of money. So you can get a credit card in China and go to South Africa for vacation. It doesn't matter. We're just talking money now. Do you have the money? The credit card. So when you understand that the money is the law of water, let me give you an example of commerce in water. When a ship pulls into harbor, a ship is always female. Always a ship is female by law. Sailing ship, rocket ship, doesn't matter. If it's a ship, it's female. Why? Because she delivers the product. Okay, without her, you don't have any product. So she is a term which is used for all ships. And so when the ship pulls into a harbor, it pulls in with say $800 million worth of Toyotas. Every one of those cars or televisions or whatever's coming in must have its own certificate of manifest, because yesterday the ship wasn't here. This morning they come to work and there's a ship here with $800 million worth of TVs. So it has manifested. So on the ship, she brought in $800 million worth of business. So she came in on water. Well, where the ship parks is at the dock. And where the ship sits is called its berth. She is sitting in her berth, right? And she is producing a maritime admiralty product because she came in on water. So therefore, each product has to have its own certificate of manifest, because she is giving birth to a product. So therefore, when you were born, you came out of your mother's water. Her water broke, and by law, you are considered a maritime admiralty product. She delivered you in the delivery room. She delivered the product. And so you came out of water, you're a maritime admiralty product, so you have to have a birth certificate. And the birth certificate's got to be signed by the dock, because that's where the ship is sitting, at the dock. So once you understand the words and the terms, and if you're born dead, if you're still born, then they just lost the TV, because take a car off and it falls down. Yeah. And so you got to, if you on the car, on the television, whatever it is, how much does it weigh? What color is it? You know, does it have air conditioning? Is it 2-door, 4-door? Is it Mexican, or is it some other race of people? How much does it weigh? Does he have both eyes? Yeah. They have 5 fingers? Yes. And how much does he weigh? What color is he? Those are all the vital signs for a maritime admiralty product. Because for God's sake, they're going to sell you. They want to know, does this kid have 2 feet or what? Because if he doesn't, I got to have to pay for it. So you are a maritime admiralty product, and therefore you are being bought and sold around the world today. And if you could get your original birth certificate back, the original, not the certified copy, get the original one back, you will see on all birth certificates at the bottom, this is a security document, goes directly to the Department of Commerce. And from the Department of Commerce, they put that directly out into the stock market of New York City, and now people are buying and selling your body, and you don't even know it. You're worth $6.5 to $7 million right now, and you didn't even know it on the New York Stock Exchange. But this is the type of stuff that most people don't know anything about, and there's a reason why most people have never heard any of this, because it doesn't have anything to do with football. It's got nothing to do with silly-ass sports and basketball and all that other silly-ass stuff that kids love to play. You know, that's what you've always give the kids, a ball. Tell the kids to go out and play ball. I don't care what ball, basketball, ping pong ball, football, golf ball. I don't care. Get the damn kid out of here and then go play with a ball. Give the kid and he'll go out and play ball. That's why they have the President of the United States. He goes out and throws the first ball because Daddy's out playing ball with us. You know, while all the kids are out there, all the schmucks are out there watching the ball game. And Daddy's out there with the senators and the congressmen. They're watching the ball game. I want to know what these freaks are doing at 2 o'clock in the morning that they haven't told us. I want to know about their boyfriends and all the money that's changing hands and all the shit that's really going on. That's where the name of the tune is. When you find out that these guys who are running the planet are playing us for a bunch of fools. Let them go out and play ball. And send some movie stars, send some of them chumps that we own, send them out there and let them be on TV so you can see on the basketball games, they'll always show Jack Nicholson and some big movie stars at the ball game. Because that keeps all the schmucks interested to go out with the movie stars and watch a ball game, not me. I'm not going to any ball game. I'm going to an education at UCLA. I want to know who's running this country, how it works, who set up our government, who gave us our religions, where these religions come from. The whole idea of Christianity is nothing more than sun worship. I mean, the sun is our risen Savior. Of course the sun is your risen Savior. God's sun is you don't own the sun. Africa doesn't own the sun. So who owns the sun? Well, obviously God owns the sun. Well, then it's God's sun. And God's sun is the light of the world. Of course the sun's the light of the world. What the hell else lights the earth if it isn't the sun? So God's sun lights the world. He's the light of the world. He's our risen Savior. Of course it's your risen Savior. If it doesn't rise, you're dead in 6 weeks. So wait till it don't come up. And you'll see it is your Savior. And the sun, the Egyptians said the sun gives off energy. And energy is life. That's why you have the life of a battery. When the battery goes dead, no energy. So the Egyptians said the sun is pure energy. And it's giving its energy so that we might live. So God's Son is giving his life that you might live. Of course the sun's giving its life. It's giving its energy so that you can grow and the plants can grow. And once you begin to understand religion, where it comes from, the whole story of Jesus is nothing more than a metaphor. There was no Jesus, there was no Abraham, no Isaac, no Jacob. There was no Moses, no King Solomon. None of those people in the Bible ever lived. These are metaphors for something far deeper that the ancient writers were trying to tell you in a metaphor. There's a symbolic story. And if you don't get the symbolism, you will go for your whole life in trouble because you didn't know how to read the symbols. You don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. You drive down through Los Angeles and see all the spray painting on walls. You think it's a bunch of kids destroying property. No, no, no. Those symbols mean something. And if you don't know what they mean, you better stay out of the territory because they're telling you. If you come in here as a different particular race, that symbols mean we're going to kill you. And so if you're going on a bicycle ride in China, you better learn the Chinese symbols, because you're going to get killed if you don't know how to read the symbols. And that's what most people don't know anything about, how this world really, in fact, works. But once you figure out how the courts work, education works. Education is nothing more than a 12-step program. Let me give you an example. In the ancient Egyptian religion, one of the many different religions in Egypt, the ancient Egyptian religion of Horus. Horus was the sun in its rising. He was a god, God the sun. And Horus was spelled H-O-R-U-S. And Horus walked across the sky in 12 steps. It was a 12-step program. That's why alcoholics have a 12-step program. You have a 12-step program. You go to first grade to the 12. It's a 12-step program. Then you graduate, which is two words, gradually indoctrinate. You put them together, it becomes graduate. So for the 12-step program, they have finally taught you what to kiss and when, and how to get and how to get a job, and who to bow down to, and all that. So they've taught you now, and now you can go out and get a job. It's the 12-step program, first to the 12th grade. What is that based on? Horus. Horus was our god, the sun god in Egypt. He walked across the sky in 12 steps. Horus is the first step, Horus is the second step, Horus is the third step. When he got in the Horus of the sixth step, he was directly overhead. He was then called Horus, the Most High God, because you don't get any higher than noon. So it's called high noon, because he's the Most High. Why? Well, because after 1 o'clock, the sucker's going down. So he was the Most High at 12 noon. And so Horus walks across his 12 steps. So we say the same thing today. Same thing. We have 12 Horuses, but instead of H-O-R-U-S, we make it H-O-U-R-S. Becomes hours, changing the U and the R. Now it becomes 12 hours. No, it's 12 Horuses. And Horus represents light. The sun represents light. Light in Latin is Lucius. And he walks across the sky and meets his evil brother, Darth Vader, or in the Egyptian religion, Set. He was the god of darkness. The prince of darkness was Set. Why? Because it got dark at sunset. So the whole idea is that it's the whole world that we live in is based on Egypt, Mesopotamia, ancient Greece, ancient Rome. All of the stuff that we live in this world is based on ancient religions and cults and secret societies and Masonic orders. And the people of this world have no idea in the world what's going on. I've spent 48 years studying occultism, mysticism, words, terms, legal terms, government, international banking, theology, religions. I'm telling you, there's a world of knowledge you have never been told. That's been right there for you, but it just never occurred to anyone to sit down for 48 years and study this stuff in the dark. I mean, I have a high respect for all religions, for all belief systems. But I'm telling you, it needs to be based on wisdom and knowledge. Let me give you an example in the Old Testament. In Arabia, looking east, there's a huge mountain range in Arabia, very high mountain ranges in Arabia, in the middle of Arabia. And so the Arabian people on this side, looking east,